The alkali fly leads a life like no other in the world. It spends 3 of its 4 life stages entirely underwater. Once the adult fly is ready, it emerges to float on the water's surface. However, adult flies return underwater to either lay eggs or feed on the algae by scuba diving. They possess tiny hairs that trap a thin layer of air, allowing them to dive underwater for short periods of time. For many inhabitants of Mono Lake, these flies and the resident brine shrimp are an important source of nourishment.
At Mono Lake in California, the scenery is otherworldly. So is the lake water. It's a caustic chemical brew where almost no life survives. With one exception, alkali flies. The young live in the lake. When they emerge, algae is the only food on the menu, and it sustains billions of them. So many, they blacken the ground. Their size can be misleading. These tiny flies have complex swarming behavior. The hardy flies ripple away from whoever approaches, each sensing its neighbor's movements and reacting instantly. As a swarm, they are acutely aware of their surroundings, making it difficult for predators to catch them. To a hungry California gull, it's like chasing shadows. The gulls can't counteract the whole swarm, so their strategy is about as basic as it gets. Open wide, run fast, and hope for the best. The gulls are persistent, but most of the flies stay just out of reach. Fortunately for the gulls, the flies are so high in protein, they don't need to swallow many. Just 20 flies a day gives the birds all the calories they need. The flies are so nutritious, 65,000 Californian gulls come here for a breeding bonanza each year.
Erie Tufa Towers rise mysteriously at Mono Lake, California. Nestled in the eastern Sierra Nevada of California, Mono Lake's Tufa Towers emerge from its alkaline waters like ancient stone sentinels. Formed over thousands of years, these limestone spires grew underwater as calcium-rich springs met the lake's carbonate waters, then revealed themselves as water levels dropped. Their bizarre shapes and ghostly silhouettes give the landscape an otherworldly feel, inspiring tales and haunting legends. Visitors can walk along trails or kayak near the towers, soaking in the surreal, quiet beauty and mysterious whispers that echo across this unique natural wonder.
Mono Lake is a special place for birds, primarily I think because it's this gigantic food source in the middle of a gigantic desert. For say the phalaropes or the grebes that are coming here, especially the phalaropes, I think a good analogy is if you were to be taking a road trip where you're going to drive from Canada down to Argentina and there was only one place that you could stop the whole way where you could get any food and you weren't able to carry any food with you, you would want to stop at that place and stay there for a long time and eat a lot of food before you went on your way. And that's what Mono Lake is like for the migratory birds. They're going on a journey of thousands and thousands of miles, and they need this one place that has the right food for them, where there's tons of that food, and that makes it this just immensely important gas station for them, and they're going to keep going on. It's important to other birds for other reasons, but it's mainly the food. The California gulls, it's important because there's these islands that they can nest on here, and then there's lots of food here that they can eat while they're nesting. The closer you look, the more you see the uniqueness of the animals, you start to realize what an important place it is for them. Catches you by surprise, where you suddenly realize how much it seeped into your soul to spend time at Mono Lake. What I wish people knew is that if you just take a little more time to go a little deeper, there's so many amazing things really hidden in plain sight almost about Mono Lake.
I really think that Mono Lake is one of the most special places on the Inyo National Forest for a whole host of reasons. Perhaps most importantly, that this was and still is the homeland for the Kazetica people.
Helps bring Mono Lake back, and that's one great thing that we're watching, and we're hoping for full recovery of Mono Lake's elevation so that it stays alive.
We always have a choice to make the world a better place. We are connected with this planet in ways that if we do not make the choices to improve the ecosystems and the health of places like Mono Lake, then we not only lose them, but we also lose ourselves.
We don't know exactly how old Mono Lake is, but it's more than 1 million years old, it appears. And for all of those thousands of years, water that has run into the basin and then had nowhere to leave, except by evaporation. And that's why you get salt lakes. That helps explain what can't live here. It's too harsh. There's no fish in Mono Lake. It is way too salty for fish, but it's incredibly alive. The irony is that it just has very few things. It has brine shrimp by the trillions. It has flies, an alkali fly that is super abundant, and those things are able to live in this really harsh, salty, alkaline environment that Mono Lake provides.
Mono Lake's twice the size of San Francisco. In this high desert area, it's twice as salty as the ocean. It's got a pH of 10. There's probably 3-4 trillion brine shrimp living in the lake, size of a thumbnail. And so places like Mono Lake are really refuges for wildlife.
That don't feel real. This alien-like landscape is one of the oldest lakes in North America at over 1 million years old. It's very salty and is surrounded by all sorts of volcanic activity. In fact, the island in the middle of the lake, Paoha Island, formed from an eruption just 350 years ago. The lake features these tufa towers, which formed underwater when mineral-rich spring water combined with the highly alkaline waters of the lake to form calcium carbonate pillars. The water levels have since fallen and the towers emerged. In order to keep things natural, please do not climb on the towers. This is Mono Lake in California.
Saline lakes are existentially threatened on planet Earth. If a lake was gone, then the ecosystem collapses. Mono Lake would be a toxic dust bowl.
Many of the big saline lakes of the Americas are on the brink of collapse due to climate change and water diversions. The story of Mono Lake is about how we save them.
This has been a Pinguinati production. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. If you'd like to support the channel, links are in the description.